Many of our children have suffered a mental health crisis during the pandemic. Online remote learning, time away from friends, missed schedules, and no activities has taken its toll on our kids' mental health. Joining us this morning is Rosanna Breaux, an assistant professor of psychology and director of the Child Studies Center at Virginia Tech, to tell us how our kids are suffering and what we can do to help them. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, I'm so grateful that we're going over this topic today because this is something that truly is impacting young people in a lot more cases than folks realize. So what are we learning about the difficulties children have had returning to in-person school this past fall?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen a huge increase in referrals for assessments, for academic and social and emotional concerns, encouragingly, but also, speaking to this mental health need, there's been an increase in use of therapy, both telehealth and in person. But we really are seeing a wide-reaching impact. About a third of children have worse mental health than they had pre-pandemic. Our data is suggesting about 20% of youth are experiencing moderate to clinical levels of psychological trauma symptoms. And we know that trauma like this and the chronic stress that we've all been going through with the pandemic really can lead to a range of negative mental health outcomes. And what makes it hard is that this spans things from anxiety and withdrawal, where it's much more internalized, to much more externalizing, kind of aggressive and oppositional behavior.
Are these younger students that you're seeing this, or a wide gamut? What are the ages that you guys are seeing this, witnessing this?
That's a great question. So it definitely is spanning the gamut, but there's research suggesting both in terms of mental health and particularly academics that younger kids actually were hit harder. We know that things like anxiety and depression often increase in those preteen and adolescent years, and we're seeing, much higher rates of anxiety in younger children, and that makes sense because our high schoolers had, many years of stability in regular school environments before the pandemic, whereas our younger kids, this is what they know at this point. 18 months is a really long time, even for an 8, 9-year-old. And so the uncertainty and anxiety around even now this kind of return to semi-normal has been really hard for our younger kids.
Now, I know some children don't necessarily have the capabilities to perform academically and socially under unusual conditions. So what do we know about the role parents can play here?
That's a great question. One of the things that's really important this school year, perhaps more than ever, is parents really meeting their children where they're at. We shouldn't be focusing on where children should be for their grade level, but instead recognizing that all children have missed, or if not had at least gaps in their learning during the last 18 months. And so working as a family, ideally with support from your children's teachers, to really help support them in learning what they missed due to those gaps and disruptions from the prior year and a half. The other things that we know is our social emotional well-being directly influences how we're doing academically. And so really focusing on healthy habits like, making sure that your children's getting enough sleep, eating regular meals, engaging in physical activity becomes increasingly hard, especially as it's getting cold right now. Those healthy habits are linked to better ability to focus in school, better, regulation of mood, which is so critical right now. I think a final thing just to briefly note is that we know parents can really do a lot in terms of their own emotion-focused parenting practices. Right now, more than ever, really listening, validating, empathizing with your children's experiences of uncertainty and frustration can be really helpful in them recognizing that their experiences are normal and that it's okay to be scared, it's okay to be upset, and then helping discuss and problem solve through when difficult situations do arise, and help encouraging them to use different coping skills to deal with those big emotions, because we're all, parents, teachers included, are experiencing high levels of stress right now.
Absolutely. Well, stay with us because after the break, we're going to continue this conversation and what we know about children who were motivated before the pandemic, who may not be so much engaged currently. Stay with us.